Well, you know that I talk about these transitions through fall. The first transition is more like summer, and the final transition can be more like winter. And we have a big transition this week with some areas of the nation much more into that late part of fall and more like winter. I'll be talking about that and more in today's weekly weather briefing. Well, another sign of fall, late fall, I guess, is we're still talking about tropical weather while we're also talking about winter weather. And we do have Tammy, and Tammy is forecast. Hurricane Tammy is going to move up to the northwest and then to the north, to the east of Puerto Rico. And it is not going to impact the U.S. We also have another area of unsettled weather that we need to watch this week, but that's also not expected to impact the U.S. Now, over the last week, you can almost draw a line north and south. The eastern U.S., below normal temperatures. Florida, with some rain, 5 to 8 degrees below normal. And the western U.S., take a look at this area here, because I'll be talking a lot about this area in this briefing. Montana, 10 degrees to 12 degrees above normal last week. So what we have here as far as the rivers go, we have high flows in the northeast U.S. due to the recent heavy rain. And elsewhere, especially in the middle part of the U.S., you can see all these little red dots here. That is indicating below normal flows. And we still have well below normal flows on the Mississippi, the lower Mississippi, that's slowing the transport of fall crops along the Mississippi. And probably not a big change in that for a while. Okay, so let's get into the forecast. Well, right now we have a bit of a blocking system here. I talked about an omega block in a post this past week. You can sort of see this ridging or bulging to the north and then dipping to the south. I mentioned it wasn't going to last long, and it's not, because by the middle of the week we have a very vigorous system right here and another vigorous system right here. So sort of a two-punch type systems this week. Meanwhile, in the eastern U.S., we have this ridge of high pressure bringing some mild weather to the eastern U.S. this week. And this is going to be very active where we have these areas of low pressure. Look how far this jet stream dips here, way down into the south, and then it curves up to the north. Let's jump a little bit ahead to Halloween, October 31st. And we have this area of low pressure really pushing to the south. So we're going to have a shot of cold air associated with that that's going to extend pretty far south. Look how amplified this is. You know, we're continuing this amplified flow, which is really amazing. You know, we have seen this all summer long, and now we're in fall, and we're still seeing a highly amplified flow, not just in the U.S., but globally. So that's very interesting to see. And what that does is that does a couple things. It gives us highly amplified temperature departures. And you can see that what we have here by the latter part of the week, take a look at the cold temperature departures in purple. So Montana is going last week from 10 degrees above normal to 10 to 15 degrees below normal by the end of this week. The other thing that waviness or amplified flow is doing is it's giving us boundaries here between the below normal and the above normal. And along these strong gradients, it gives us active weather, both rain and snow. First week in November, you can sort of see that not as intense the departures, but they still are there, and they move a little bit to the east. So finally, we get some of that cool air into the east. So this means we're going to have a variety of precipitation. We're going to have this streak from Texas, Oklahoma, up into the upper Midwest and Great Lakes of moderate to heavy rain this week. And here's the setup: high pressure to the north, high pressure to the southeast. And right along the boundary between these two is where the action will be. Now, in addition to the rain, I'm beginning to talk about snow. And this could be an active week. Look at Montana, Kalispell here. We're looking at the probability of snow. And here is the possibility of some snow from Montana across the upper Midwest, Dakotas, parts of northern Minnesota this week. And here's that second low moving along the front, and there's our snow. So very active week, both rain and snow, but fairly limited areas. And finally, take a look at the extended outlook here for the next 2 weeks, 6 to 10 day. Well, it looks like the upper Midwest is going to really get sort of hit with this cold weather, and then it's going to overspread into the Northeast as we get into week 2. I wanted to show you Duluth here. Highs in the 50s early in the week, but highs only in the 30s and lows in the 20s. Kalispell, Montana, lows, a very hard freeze of 15 degrees. So you can see my tone of these briefings. I have switched as we get into late fall, more active systems. I am talking a lot more about winter weather here. So anyway, very active week with a transition with colder air pushing up into the north central and northern Rockies region. Have a great week. Take care.